Ari, I keep hearing about this Empress Dowager Cixi. Some people say she was a villain, others call her a feminist icon. What's the real story? Was she really running China behind the scenes?
Oh, Cixi is one of the most fascinating and controversial figures in Chinese history. Imagine this. A concubine, not even the emperor's wife, ends up ruling the world's largest empire for nearly 50 years. And her reign overlapped with Queen Victoria's in Britain. But the way she got there, and what she did with that power, is a wild ride.
Wait, so how did she even get power if she wasn't the empress?
Okay, picture this. Cixi, the boy's mother, teams up with the official empress and an influential uncle to form a regency. But Cixi quickly becomes the dominant force. She's smart, ambitious, and not afraid to play palace politics.
That sounds like something out of a drama series. But what was happening in China at the time?
Total chaos. Right after the emperor's death, rebellions explode across the country, especially among Muslim communities in the northwest. The Qing dynasty, already weakened, has to basically reconquer huge regions like Xinjiang. Millions die or flee. And while the court puts down these uprisings, they totally ignore the reasons people are so angry: poverty, corruption, ethnic tension.
So they're just fighting fires, not fixing the problems?
Exactly. And while all this is happening, Western powers are circling like sharks. Britain, France, Russia, they're grabbing land, demanding trade rights, humiliating the Qing at every turn. Chinese pride takes a huge hit, and the treasury is bleeding money.
So did Cixi try to modernize China at all? Or was she just focused on keeping power?
That's the big debate. There were some attempts at reform, building a modern navy, opening foreign language schools, even setting up a foreign office. But compared to what Japan was doing at the same time, the Meiji Restoration, it was all pretty half-hearted.
Japan went from feudal to modern super fast, right?
Exactly. Japan embraced Western technology, built factories, created a parliament. China's reforms under Cixi were piecemeal and slow. And when her son, the Tongji Emperor, died young, Cixi made sure to keep power by putting another child, her nephew, on the throne. She ruled from behind the beaded curtain, basically pulling the strings.
Wasn't there a big war with Japan?
Oh, yeah. In 1894, Japan humiliates China in the Sino-Japanese War. The Qing lose Korea, Taiwan, and have to pay massive reparations. Their supposedly modern navy is wiped out in hours. It's a national disaster.
That must have shaken people's faith in the government.
Totally. And then, to make things worse, a bubonic plague breaks out, spreading from China to Hong Kong, India, and the world, killing millions. Suddenly, anti-Chinese racism explodes globally. Countries like the US and Australia pass laws to keep Chinese immigrants out, blaming them for disease and social problems.
That sounds kind of familiar, like how COVID-19 led to a spike in anti-Asian hate.
Exactly. It's the same pattern fear of disease mixing with old prejudices. Back then, Westerners painted the Chinese as sickly or addicted, justifying discrimination and exclusion. It's a reminder that pandemics often bring out the worst in society.
So, were there people inside China pushing for real change?
Absolutely. There was a whole movement of young scholars and officials who wanted to transform China, ban foot binding, give women more rights, create a constitutional monarchy like Japan. In 1898, the Guangxu Emperor finally tries to launch sweeping reforms.
Did Cixi support that?
Not at all. She saw it as a threat to her power. When the emperor tried to sideline her, she found out. Thanks to a double-crossing general, and basically staged a coup. The emperor was locked away, the reformers were executed, and Cixi took back control.
Wow! So she crushed the chance for women's rights and modernization.
Sadly, yes. Some people today try to paint Cixi as a proto-feminist, but the reality is more complicated. She was a powerful woman, but she wasn't interested in changing women's roles. She was interested in keeping her own power.
That's so complicated. She wasn't the monster people say, but she wasn't a hero either.
Exactly. She was a survivor, a master of palace intrigue, but her choices helped keep China stuck while the world raced ahead. And the cost was huge. By the end of her reign, the Qing dynasty was falling apart, corruption was everywhere, and foreign powers kept squeezing China for more.
It's wild how much of this echoes today. Like the debate over women in power, or how countries respond to pandemics and outsiders.
Right? And the way fear and racism can explode during a crisis. It's not just history, it's a pattern we keep seeing. Even the struggle between reform and tradition, or leaders clinging to power at the expense of progress, it's all still happening.
So, understanding Cixi and her time helps us see why China was so vulnerable to outside pressure and why debates about reform are still so intense there.
Exactly. History doesn't repeat, but it sure rhymes. The story of Cixi is a reminder that who holds power and how they use it can shape a country's fate for generations. And the same questions about reform, tradition, and prejudice, we're still asking them today.
Makes you wonder what we look back on 100 years from now and say, why didn't they change when they had the chance? Off is Ben, nah?
That's the big lesson. The past isn't just old stories, it's a mirror for our present, and sometimes a warning.
That's it for today's episode on Fun Learn Talks, where stories from business, technology, and history keep your curiosity alive. If you enjoyed the journey, make sure to follow, rate, or share it with a fellow curious mind. And hey, we'd love to hear from you. Drop a comment or connect with us online. I'm Anu, and I'll catch you next time, right here on Fun Learn Talks. Until then, keep learning, keep wondering.